All right, cool cats. I think we're live. Let me double check. Yep, even YouTube says we're live, so we're live. Let's see. For those that tuned in yesterday, you can see I did start doing the homework, but every time I do that, I feel bad. I'll be honest. So I did quite a bit, and then I stopped because I'm supposed to be doing that with y'all. I got enough work that I can do both, so I need to quit saying that I'm gonna work on this later. The point of these streams is to see something from start to finish, right? And to offer tips, right? Can't do that if I'm cutting my own corners. And discipline. It's also discipline for myself. So, welcome back. I am Dax. I'm an independent artist, pro GM, game master on the side, member of the Battle Barge crew, which is a annual tabletop gaming cruise. Predominantly uh, promotes Warhammer 40K, which is a Games Workshop tabletop game that has turned into, like the best sci-fi universe ever. And I also help with the narrative for the the system in which their tournament narrative takes place. Um, to that end, we've got multiple campaigns based in that narrative that we live stream. The one ongoing right now is Chaos. That's what we're working on, this Chaos Marine. Um, yeah. So you can tune in to get a little bit of insider info on the Battle Barge as well. I won't be revealing too much, of course. But you can also catch the campaigns here on my channel on YouTube, as well as event.cruises um, YouTube, and I think their Discord as well. They don't just have tabletop. What's up, Carrie? They don't just have tabletop cruises. They have annual RPG cruises as well. The D20 cruise is actually just about to roll out in a few days. They've got a cosplay, anime. They got a bunch of cruises. So visit their site. It's in the description if you want to check it out. Um, as far as me, if you have any questions or requests, make sure to put them in the chat or in the comments, and I will try to get to them. It's not like I'm looking for a huge following, so you should get some attention. Definitely, if you have any Procreate questions, drop them in the chat or comments, and I will do my damnedest to get to them. Um, if I'm doing a top five and you want to put your top five, I'm always curious to see your top five. This is just going to be my opinion on the matters that I bring up. So I love hearing outside opinions. Bring it on. We are still working on the character design portion of this Chaos Marine. We got the general pose and dynamics down, gear and whatnot. We're just adding some demonification, demonizing, some funkification. We're helling the guy up. That's what we're doing. Because Chaos Marines spend a lot of time with the warp being the nasty realm in Warhammer 40K. Ergo, they tend to get funkified, chaosified. The warp being the home of chaos and all that. Okay. So for the first portion of this, I'm just going to be adding some more demon shit. Not shit proper. Slang shit. And if you have ideas for the demon shit, you can feel free to put those in there too. I don't mind. Sometimes I'll listen to you. People other than me have good ideas. Sometimes. What I'm doing right now is I'm putting a spiky bit rack on the guy. Chaos Marines are known for their spiky bits. And I don't want things to be... The Chaos Marines are fun because you want it to be a little symmetrical, but not completely symmetrical. The Chaosification, you don't want to be symmetrical. But you want a little symmetry because they are still Space Marines, the quintessential super soldiers of 40k. So you want a little symmetry, but not too much. See, like right there, that's too much in sync with the perspective. So I'm going to change it up a little bit. That's what I'm talking about. I want it to look like the spiky bits have grown on their own. That's what I want it to look like over the millennia, if not centuries. Oh yeah, and especially Carrie, you'll notice that today's top 5 is different than we talked about yesterday. That's because I let slip one of my top 5s yesterday, and I'm trying to do these, on the night or spontaneously. So I try not to lend too much thought to my top 5 beforehand. So since I named one of my top 5, I'm going to give that one some time. We'll revisit my celebrity crushes later when um, I have forgotten the fact that I let one slip. Instead, today, we're going to be doing top 5 eye-opener flicks. By eye-opener flicks, I mean that when you are reading, hearing, watching, experiencing art, someone else's art, the whole point of art is a different means of communication. Well, sometimes, I mean, there's oratory arts as well, don't get me wrong. But you're supposed to be expressing something that is not necessarily obvious. And ergo, well, I do blame it on you. Yeah, it's immortalized actually. It's on the internet now. You did that. I mean, if you're gonna crush on somebody, he's a good one to crush on. So it's not that big a deal. But I just want to be true to my own values. That's all I'm saying. Um, I ain't even gay so far. But Patrick Warburton, yeah. Respecting the fact that there's no chance. Happily married for what's he been married for? Over 20 years, right? He's such a stud. But anyway, eye opener films. So these are going to be the movies. These are going to be the movies, not shows, not books. Um, there's one that's probably going to pop into my top 5 based on a book. We'll see. Probably going to pop in there. But these are the films that made you go, oh shit, you know what I never thought about? Or I really need to relook at my life, or I really need to relook at these people's lives, or I really need to look at my society as a whole. That's what I'm talking about. And there's a lot of them for me. So it's going to be a difficult top 5. I can probably name 2 of them right off the bat. Probably. Actually, probably 3. I'm just about certain I can name 2 of them right now. Now, the order gets tricky, but we'll get to that. I kind of don't want to touch his keg. It's not really a keg, but I still don't want to touch this fuel canister because it looks like a keg because I'm a simple man. Um, I just like the look of it, so I kind of just want to make it more pronounced, and I kind of want to put a valve on it too. Yeah, I'm gonna put a valve on it. Okay. So this is one that you can use your circle tool on, the keg here. Make sure you got your distinct lines. You may be thinking to yourself that that circle is not does not match the circle below it. That's because of the perspective. That's on purpose. That's actually how that circle is supposed to look. Right first time. So, not touching that. Oh, I could have grown it a little bit though, because, yeah, that's going to come out here. We do need to grow it a little bit. Okay. Because the sides of the keg are going to be mostly straight, maybe a little curved. All right, so we need to move that circle a little bit. You're right. Now we could try to just grow it. That works. Okay. I dig it. And the turbine is still good. I'm probably going to put some sort of demonic energy in that turbine down there, because this is going to be a colored piece. These cables are coming out of it though, so we need to fix that. Poor Things is number 2 for you as far as eye opener films. Well, that's cool. That was fast. Poor Things sounds familiar. Don't know why it sounds familiar. Can't say that I've seen Poor Things, but it sounds like I have. What am I? All that was on the top layer. The sun here is just up and down this week. It's gonna rain. It's not gonna rain. It's gonna rain. It's not gonna rain. It's gonna rain. It's not gonna rain. We will probably be putting some more skulls or something on his spiky bits, because they're trophy racks is what they are. They're actually called trophy racks. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I have not seen it. It's decently new, right? Last few years. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Oh, that Mark Ruffalo. What a good guy. He's another one. He's another sexy dude. Oh, you doubled up there. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That one got a lot of press, as I recall. You don't have to go back and forth on your layers when you're doing character design. I'm only doing it for certain areas. If there's an area that I don't want myself to miss out on something, especially since I did some of this yesterday, you know, I've slept since then, that's what I'm touching up right now. And then the area, like the area where all the skulls are, we'll do the poor man's eraser. Instead of erasing, we will just select it all. Yeah, 3 years is nothing when you're old. I actually just yesterday heard someone talking about 3 years as if it was forever ago. To me, 'tis but a drop in a bucket. In fact, talking about Patrick Wilson, can you believe the guy is? Can you believe that he's older than me? Can you believe Patrick Wilson is older than me? Guy doesn't age. He's not much older than me, but he is older than me. He just does not age. Oh, I never finished this guy's hand yesterday. This hand over here. So there's going to be, they've got an armor pad there. Oof, that's more like a Mark 7 Ovo armor, but I don't really care. And then his arm there. Okay, and then there. Oh, I'm still on the top layer, aren't I? No, I'm not. So I did that on the top layer. Damn it. See, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. That's a little hand. Whoops. Let's try that again. He ages like fine wine, indeed. Whereas I age like whiskey. Yeah. His wife, too. His wife is still hot. I want to say his kids are your age-ish. I'm shrinking his hand again. I don't know what my problem is. Actually, I think his kids are a bit younger than you. Okay. Now we do want it to be chaosified a bit, so I don't like that hump. This. And his arm's going to see a little bit of trim, so we'll go ahead and put that on there. A little bit of trim, a little bit of trim. And then they've got this under right there that shrunken down, you won't even be able to see it. But all right. Oh. my angle. I think I went too small with that one. Yep. I'll straighten that up with line art and finish those chains. Just wanted to put something there. Okay. This belt buckle is a good spot to have fun with the chaosification. So we'll actually make this one more circular, but this one we're going to do that. And it's going to start getting funky. And we'll give it the old typical eyeball. Let's have fun with that eye, though. Yeah. Pretty soon I'm going to have to deal with that damn gun. Finish up the trophy racks, then we'll do that. Part of me wants to put a torso there. This piece is just getting so detailed. It's going to take forever. But oh well, that's what it's for, right? So what if we spend an entire week on this one, right? And therein lies the problem with going back and forth. That's why you don't want to do it. I'm demonstrating for you. This is for you. Demonstrating why you don't do it. Actually, I'm not sure. I kind of want it to be a zombie now. Not zombie, but, you know, meaty. Or what we could do, why don't we put it in here, we'll do a separate one just for this. And then we'll put it in like a militarum helmet. Yeah. Like he killed your character from Dark Tide. That's what he did. That's pretty big though. The skull's even pretty big for a human. That's like an Astartes style or size skull. So let me shrink this, and then we'll use that to shrink the skull. Was I on the right layer? I was on the right layer. Oh no, I did it on the bottom though. That's why. That's why. That actually worked out well. I did all that on purpose. Totally did all that on purpose. Yeah. So we should theoretically just have the top of the armor. Everything else would have fallen off. Eternal Sunshine's a good one. Yeah. So that's really a different. Maybe not. I guess it's similar to where I was going with it. Yeah, it's similar. We'll let Sunshine slide. It wouldn't be my top five, just because my top five's already crowded, I'm sure. But Eternal Sunshine was really good. It's a wake up movie for sure. Good call, good call. And generally just good. Superb acting all around. So I think they'll start right around there. Again, I'm trying not to do. I wanted to do more trophies, not just the one. No, you're good. I backtracked. You got it. You got it. Sunshine's right. It's whatever wakes you up. So these are the ones that woke me up. Um, they they caused introspection, yes, um, but also just a realignment of my reality because our society really sends us down one road. That's really it. The consumership road. And um, and the other reality down here is indoctrination in the Bible Belt. So no matter who you are, if you're hearing something every day, if it's just pounded into you, eventually you start, no matter how stubborn you are, you start believing it. So I was going more of a, reality breaking, but I mean, it's really the same. Eternal Sunshine is it's really the same thing. So I took it back. You get it. You get it. You got it. You good. Okay. So now we'll have to raise that other spiky bit just a little bit so that we know it's there. But I don't want to spend too much of the spiky bits on this one dude because a lot of the armor would have fallen off, um, and with it body parts, or a lot of the body parts would have fallen off, and with them armor. Either or. So I don't want to spend too much on here. The helmet's just funny because it's probably like teetering. So the direction I was headed, like I said, it was just reality bending, really, or breaking, snapping. What do you want to call that? So let's start putting some of my top five. That's what we'll do. In my top five. So as an example, of you're right, and I shouldn't have said anything about Eternal Sunshine. This is probably a good example why. I'm going to go ahead and put this in there because of that. So taking Eternal Sunshine into account, um, I'm putting Encanto in here as well. It's one of my top five because Encanto definitely had a profound effect on me, um, and made me realize a lot of my reality. Fantastic film, one of, if not Disney's best. Absolutely love Encanto. I was going to do an orc skull, but I can't do an orc skull without the bottom. So we'll include it all. Oh yeah, so anyway, so after seeing Encanto, I took a big look at my life, and those around me, because Encanto, it's not just a cutesy pie, colorful Disney flick. It's not even just a cutesy pie, colorful Disney flick about Colombia, which is a fantastic reference and homage to Colombia. It's not just a cutesy pie, colorful Disney flick that's a good homage to Colombia and Colombian culture, um, or even having good music. It's not just all that, because it is all that. But it is also a fantastic representation of um, issues with relationships. Because if you think about it, Encanto has no bad guy. Encanto, modern issues with relationships. Mind you, a lot of these are going to be modern. So Encanto has no bad guy. It's got no real romance. I mean, there's some jocular romance, like they mess with romance in it, um, but it is a smart romance in the end. The one romance that they really focus on in it, there's a few you know actual romantic relationships in it, including the parents and stuff. But the one burgeoning romance that they deal with is kind of done in humor, but also brains, because by the end of that series of romance, that triangle there, she's using her brains with it. She's not even Dolores is not thinking with her heart. She's thinking with her brain. So kudos on that. That is a step apart from the typical Disney scenario, right? Um, so no villain, no real romance focus. Um, it's funny because it's a movie about magical thinking, the actual psychology term, magical thinking. It's a movie about magical thinking with magic, is what's one of the great things about it. Um, so it's basically showing all the good and bad of magical thinking, but it also shows just how easy it is to get caught up in yourself and disregard even those closest to you, even those that are trying to help you. And my favorite character in the movie is the prime example of that, because um, everybody's issue with Bruno, who we don't talk about, right? So this is why it's brilliant. So it's always we don't talk about Bruno. The song is even we don't talk about Bruno. But everybody talks about Bruno. So, and when they talk about Bruno, they're constantly trashing Bruno and blaming him for all this shit. But what makes that awesome, why that's great storytelling, is because everything that Bruno said, except for one metaphor, everything that Bruno said was the truth. So, in essence, the entire town, his family, everybody was pissed at Bruno for telling the truth. And the thing that blew his sister off the handle, the thing that made his sister crack, is he was kind of joking. He said that her sweat looked like rain. That's it. And she just went ballistic because her whole thing is she doesn't have control of her emotions. That's why she's the storm, right? So he gets badmouthed all the time for telling people the truth, and then he makes one loving joke with his sister about how her um, sweat looked like rain, and she just went nuts. Um, and as we saw everybody react to Mirabelle, we never got to see how they reacted to Bruno, but you can just imagine if they were like that with Mirabelle, how they were with Bruno. So you've got this character that's completely trashed, completely ostracized, just because he tells everybody the truth, and they don't like the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. If there is anything that is a reflection on our society today, um, that that is one of them. Number two. So Eternal Sunshine is just more upfront with it. That's why I didn't want to count it. But it does also pose some um, loose references on issues. So that's why I'm letting it slide. Encanto hides it all better than Eternal Sunshine, where Eternal Sunshine is just more upfront and realistic. That's all. Yeah, this picture ended up way more detailed than I wanted. It happens. This is what makes pictures take forever, but also stand out. It's a double-edged sword of realism. And we'll put one through an eye. Why don't we do that? We'll have like an Astartes. Let's see. I don't think that angle's right. So it's going to be right around there. Which means this one's going to be around there. Yeah, it was a little off. Okay. And then we'll make it fun. We'll put some studs. Put some service studs in there so you know that it was an old Astartes. Yeah, that's probably enough. Or we're going to get way too detailed. Oh, yeah. What's up, Ganesh? So yeah, the whole point of Encanto was literally um, widening your perspective. Stop being so focused on, what you uh, think is best, is the truth, etc., etc., etc. Bruno's mom thought that he hurt the family because the townsfolk um, didn't like what he was doing and were trashing him. Bruno's mom thought that Mirabelle was hurting the family when she was just trying to help. You get it. Hidden meanings. Oh. I'm gonna have to give number one to Fight Club. I'm gonna have to. I don't think there's any way around it because, and again, this is the movie. This is not the book. The book is a little bit different, or the movie is a little bit different than the book. The focus in the book was more on, not being like the narrator or Jack. Tyler was definitely more of a bad guy, obvious bad guy in the book. But the movie, I mean, Tyler made you think in the movie. The way they pulled the movie off, it's got you thinking that Tyler, he might be a good guy, ish. Um, because the stuff that he did was beneficial to society, right? That was his whole point, right? but it's not really that way in the book. So the movie, the Fight Club movie, just even the second even the second time you see the movie, and this is a spoiler if you haven't seen the Fight Club film, tune out for a second. So the second time you watch the film, you realize not I mean 5 minutes into I think it's 6 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes into the damn film, the narrator or Jack, whatever you call him, the narrator is telling you that he and Tyler are the same person. Just straight up. Straight up. But you don't catch that. When you watch it the first time, you don't catch it. You don't realize that. It's crazy, right? Where is that line? Why is that on that layer? Why are those on that layer? That's crazy. So, upon watching Fight Club, I mean, it wasn't about the fighting to me at all, because I don't really like fighting. Um, like when The Matrix came out, it was hard to think around the action sequences because the action sequences in The Matrix were kind of the focus of the film, at least for the Wachowskis. Um, See, Dead Poet Society is the same though. You're doing obvious messages, which is fine if that's your eye opening. Um, maybe it's my title. I'm doing more metaphorical messages, like the hidden meanings. So when you watch Dead Poets Society, you watch it with the intent of seeing how college life is, how early adulthood is, um, and our modern educational system. That's why you watch Dead Poets Society, or to get some cool views on psychology or philosophy. That's the truth. But when you watch Fight Club, most people go into Fight Club to watch fights. Know what I mean? Oh my God, I failed the layer test. So yeah, most people when they go into Fight Club, they go into Fight Club to watch fights. They don't go into it for a breakdown of reality. And same thing with the Matrix, because the Matrix is, I'll go ahead and put it in there. I've talked about it twice now. Matrix has got to be in here. It's probably gonna be 4. So when you go watch The Matrix, when we went and watched The Matrix, like I was saying, it was really difficult. It was really difficult to not just come out of the theater and start fighting each other in the parking lot. I'm being specific because that's what we did. But it's because that was the spin that was put on the film. By the time, oh, was it the same year? I think those two movies were the same year. Dear God. Maybe 99 was the best time for our society. So, anyway, or the ending of it, maybe. So, anyway, you go into the Matrix and it's this special effects action film extravaganza, and you're focused on the action. And um, with Fight Club, you go into it because at the time, it's fucking Brad Pitt and fighting people, and I mean, yeah, they've all got some hidden points to them. So, like I said, you're good. But watching Fight Club, I'll get to the Matrix specifically in a second. Let me finish Fight Club first. So when I was watching Fight Club, like I said, the second time, it's like, oh, how did they get this past me so well? Um, they hid that so well. It was just like, oh my God. So that was eye-opening. But then I started realizing that the stuff Tyler was saying was eye-opening as well, like very eye-opening. Um, you aren't your fucking khakis, but everybody wants you to believe. the chew your fucking khakis. I don't know about you, but almost everyone I was surrounded with was telling me that I had to have this 9 to 5 job working for someone else, getting a promotion, making a name for myself, focusing on money. And Fight Club was the first, well, it really wasn't. But at the time, um, no, I can't really say that. So there, my number three, I saved that spot because my number three is probably the reason that I could focus on that when most people couldn't. I think the only reason that I could focus on Fight Club being something more than its parts, um, that it had a hidden message that was correct, was because of my number three. But I still got to that point. So I realized that Fight Club was trying to tell us something, and it was right. Yeah, I mean, money does not matter in the long run. Your khakis don't matter. You're not a beautiful and unique snowflake, although you also kind of are. So, I mean, he made sense. He made as much sense as Bruno. I mean, the truths that he was saying, it was hard to take because it was hard to take for people who didn't want to wake up from the reality. Um, and this coming from a guy who, you know, works right now. I work in the fantasy industry, and at the time, I was focused on movies and books and comic books and games and video games, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So fantasy was, kind of a big deal to me, but still, um, I wanted to live in reality, play in fantasy, if that makes sense. Where, especially nowadays, that's backwards. Almost everybody you run into, they want to live in fantasy. And my upbringing was fantasy. Um, all these people that I went to church with giving me shit for playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's not real. So you live in a make-believe world, and I'm like, you're a Christian. Yeah, you're religious. Um, so, but Fight Club was just so eye-opening for me. I started listening to everything Tyler was saying, and it was right, and um, it started helping me get my life together. It was the whole man. Fight Club was the man in the mirror effect. So it was the one that had me thinking, okay, what is it that I'm thinking is important that isn't really important, and how can I start getting rid of it? Um, Fight Club really summoned a great amount of retrospection. I'm not really making this multi-melta demonized, chaosified enough. It needs more chaosification. I could make the cables look like intestines, but that's really nurgly, and I don't want this guy to look nurgly. That's the problem there. That's the problem with that. Um, I think for his chest piece, I'm going to do the eye again. The eye is always a good look on chaos. The eye of terror, demon eyes, mutations, etc., etc. It always looks good. So just do that again. So yeah, Fight Club was very profound to me. Had a great impact on me fixing myself, changing my perspective, where Encanto helped me fix my surroundings. That makes sense. What's going on there? Seems like I've erased something important, doesn't it? Okay, so there's nothing coming from the gaunt. His arm needs to be there. So the Matrix. Fight Club made me work on myself. The Matrix made me work on, and this is a continuing process. The great thing about the profoundness of the Matrix is that it's still going. I think the Matrix is like the perfect reflection of our society. It is, I mean, there's been some other good ones, like Idiocracy. Idiocracy is a really good societal documentary, but damn it. The Matrix, to me, having seen Soylent Green, the Matrix was like a step further. Uh, because the Matrix is not about what you think it's about. That's the plain, simple truth. Like I said, when we saw it, I didn't think about these things. When we saw it, all I thought about was the kick-ass action sequences and the propeller heads playing in the background because the propeller heads are the shit, right? But when when I started thinking about it, so started watching it again, I started realizing that the Matrix was it was saying something. It was saying something else, right? What was it saying? Well, it's Plato's cave. So the Matrix is the on-screen equivalent of Plato's cave. Um, so Plato's cave, it's a philosophy thing. Plato, of course, a philosopher, if not the philosopher. And in Plato's cave, you've got this cave with these people um, that have never been outside the cave. So they think that all the things that they've seen and been shown are the only things that there are. And then if you have this one person that goes outside of the cave and they see reality, they see all these things outside the cave, they come back into the cave, they try to tell the people in the cave about the stuff outside the cave, the people inside the cave don't believe them. They think that they're crazy. So the person that knows more seems insane to those who know less. The Matrix is, like I said, the on-screen equivalent of Plato's cave, yes, but it's also more than that because um, it's not, the machines are not machines. It's not a movie about AI. So you go into it, you think it's a movie about, AI and cool fight sequences, but the movie is not about AI. And the more times you watch it, the more you realize that you missed. The movie is about people in control. The machine is people who want power. So the people in control that think they know better, they're the machines. So the machine is our machine, our societal machine that's set up. And like I was saying, all the people that were telling me that life has to be a certain way. You have to do this. You have to have this 9 to 5. You have to focus on money. You have to work 45 hours a week to drive 2 hours a day to see your family, the people that you're supposed to love for a couple of hours before you go to bed for 8 hours and get up and get ready for an hour to wash, rinse, and repeat. That's what everybody around us tells us is normal, right? When the truth of the matter is, um, I mean, Smith was kind of right. Humans are closer to a virus than anything else on the planet. And the more you watch The Matrix, the more you realize what they're saying and what you're missing. Um, and how hard it is And this is the one that's getting me lately. The older I get, the more I realize, why Morpheus did the things he did. Because watching it, younger, I was like, why do they wait so long? Um, why'd they wait so long to follow Neo around? So at some point they say, he's really old to pull out. So they target young people. They target young people in the Matrix to wake up because the young people, it's easier to I mean, their brains are more elastic. They've experienced less. It's easier to make a young person realize, the way things really are, the truth, how things should be, than it is someone who's built their life around it and they don't want to sacrifice anything. They don't want to make an effort to get out of it. So that's why they targeted the younger. And with Neo, that's why they were taking their time with him. Because have you ever tried to convince someone that was so sure that they knew what they were talking about of an actuality that was different than... I think we may have had a little stall there. But yeah, I was talking about trying to convince someone who is dead set in their ways that they're wrong, that things are different than they thought they were, and how difficult that is. So that's why they took their time with Neo. Because if you try to convince someone that just really wants to believe that they're right and cannot accept any other way, it can actually have a worse effect than not trying to convince them. I mean, a lot of them just won't hear it anyway, but it's a difficult thing to try and see if you should waste your time, energy on someone who's like that. And in their case, it was dangerous. So if they presented themselves to Neo and Neo decided, he didn't like what they were saying, he could have ratted them out. And here come the agents. So that's why they took their time with Neo, but I didn't realize that until later. And then you get really old, like me, and you start thinking about, should you? Do you have the right to ruin someone's life? I mean, the reality in the Matrix was kind of shit. So do you have the right to just up... My volume is off. How? Let's see. Says it's right. Hello. Hello, hello. Volume sounds right to me. Let me try something else. Check from my phone. Everything looks right setting-wise. When I monitor myself, I can hear myself as well. Nope. So I can honestly say that it must be you. Okay, for everybody else, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so um, something you consider later on in life is, do you have the right to try and upheave someone's life? Because the real world in the Matrix is kind of shit. So Morpheus and all them, trying to convince people that the Matrix is fake and that they're slaves, not only is it dangerous for them to present themselves, but do they have the right to do that? I mean, if someone's in the Matrix and they're happy, should you be trying to wake them up? Which is a very profound question in 2026. Let me tell you. It's rough. So yeah, the Matrix is not about what you think it's about. Watch it again and think of the Matrix as people who are just stuck doing the same thing over and over again that someone else told them that they should do, and that they think is right only because that's how they were raised. And it is pretty fucking eye-opening. I need to put my number 3 on now. This is going to be another one where number 5 is really rough. Rough being hard to figure out. Okay. Along those same lines, the lines of the Matrix, along those same lines. Oh. Freud was right. Okay, along those same lines, you'll find the film They Live. This is the movie that helped me look at Fight Club in a different way when I saw Fight Club. Why it didn't do that with Matrix, it's probably just who I saw the two films with, um, which is not a slash on anybody else. It's just if you see a movie with your hype group, with your whoop whoop group, with your buds, your bros, if you see a movie with your bros, you're gonna focus on the goofiness more than anything else, right? The epicness, the zing. So They Live. If you've not seen They Live, you need to, because it's awesome. And They Live is about this everyday dude who works in, I think he worked in construction. Pretty sure he worked in construction. So you've got this everyday dude that works in construction, and um, he finds these glasses, these sunglasses, that when he puts them on, he starts seeing all these funky beings around him. And I mean funky. So he's surrounded by all these extraterrestrial looking, they kind of look like zombies, honestly, more than anything. He starts seeing that he's surrounded by all these zombie looking motherfuckers. And he's like, what the fuck? He takes them off and he sees everything normal. He puts them back on again and he sees all the crazy, zombie looking fuckers. And so the glasses actually let him see reality as it is. So they block out all of these subliminal messages that these beings were were pounding into everybody's heads. Um, and so he puts the glasses on, and it's like basically black and white. He takes them off, and I mean, he takes them off, and it's color, and it's everything that he grew up around. But he puts them on, and everything's basically black and white. And people in power, everyone in power, is one of the zombies. Well, not everyone. There's some people working for the zombies, like knowingly. He finds out there's people knowingly working for the zombies. Like there are people that, like Cypher in the Matrix, wanted to be in the Matrix. He wanted to go back in, right? So there's those people. And in They Live, um, most of the people in power are the zombies, or they are working knowingly with the zombies. And so he starts trying to tell people, and he goes and tries to tell his buddy, one of his coworkers. He's like, "Dude, you gotta. We're being we're being manipulated. We're being herded like cattle. You know, it's pretty much the same Matrix. You know, you're a fucking battery, right?" So he's trying to tell him, he's like, "We're being used. We're being controlled. Things aren't what we thought they were. Um, you need to wear these glasses." And his buddy just will not do it. He doesn't believe him. He doesn't want to believe him. So he and his friend end up in what I think is actually still the longest on-screen fist fight in movie history. They fight for like 6 to 7 minutes, knockdown, drag out, literally, where he's trying to convince his friend just to put on the damn glasses. I mean, all his friend had to do to prove him wrong was put on the glasses. Wouldn't do it. All his friend had to do to prove him right was put on the glasses. That one simple task, Keith David, his friend, did not want to do. Um, which again, this is super profound in 2026, right? So for 6 minutes, for over 6 minutes, these two friends and coworkers fight with each other because he just does not want to be wrong. I mean, he knows that there's a chance that he's wrong so much that he won't do it. He will not put on the glasses because he knows that there's a chance that he could be wrong, and he will not do it. He just won't do it. So they fight. It's insane and profound. And so finally, Roddy Piper, the star, he takes down Keith David, and which it's a great fight too, because Roddy Piper, good guy. I met him a couple of times. Roddy Piper was a wrestler, so it's a pretty good fight. And Keith David, God love Keith David, he's one of the best actors. So they fight. The main character wins, puts the glasses on his friend's nearly unconscious form. And from that point on, Keith David can see that his friend was right and they're being manipulated. And the things that they're told are important or not important. So you put on the glasses and you see all these subliminal messages on billboards, TV, everywhere saying, obey, follow, consume. Um, yeah, it's such an intense film. And it didn't do very well. It's John Carpenter, too. It's John Carpenter film. Didn't do too great, but it is great. It is great. And eye-opening. It might deserve to be higher. I mean, it should probably, I don't know. Without it, I wouldn't have seen Fight Club the way I did, so maybe it should take Fight Club's spot. I don't know. I might decide tomorrow that my order of these top five change. Who knows? But as of right now, I'm going to keep it where it is. American Psycho. I I think American Psycho is showing. American Psycho is one of the best movies in showing what an actual psychopath is like. I honestly think that there is a better movie to show the mind of a psychopath, and that is Observe and Report. Observe and Report is scary realistic. I've known a lot of people, well, not a lot. I've known a few people that were like Seth Rogen's character in Observe and Report. And it's what's funny is Observe and Report is a comedy, but it's also very realistic. So it's not so funny when you realize that. It's funny, but it's also not funny. It's crazy. So yeah, if you liked American Psycho, you have to see Observe and Report, plain and simple. Plain and simple. American Psycho is a very good example of a psychopath, yes, but Observe and Report is better, I think. Not better film necessarily. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it is a better example of psychopathy, 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 psychopathy. Psychopathy sounds right, which probably means psychopathy is right. The one definitely demon thing, I can't seem to figure out how to demon up. I don't know what to do here. I could put another hand around that nozzle. Not nozzle, but the thingy there. I don't want to do that. Lips for the nozzles seems stupid. More teeth seems stupid. Oh, you know what I could do? I could turn these into, I'll turn the cords into like tentacles. That's what we'll do. We'll do that. Yeah, that would be cool. So like, so here's the thing about character development, digital art or otherwise. You'll see a bunch of people on here that'll say, you know, losers use uh, sketching first. Um, Users do line art. You should just go to your finished line art. You shouldn't have two line art phases. Okay, they're showing you something that they do all the damn time. That's what they're doing. So don't listen to it. If you're doing character design, you're doing things that are new, feel free, please, to have an initial rough sketch phase where you just try and, oh, well, I haven't drawn this before, so I need to work on it. Yes, that's the way things work. So don't listen to the whole only losers use um, a separate line art layer. It's bullshit. Bullshit. You do you. Don't judge yourself by someone else. Even me. Don't even listen to me. If you're not used to drawing something, then you're not going to be good at it, and you're going to need to practice. So if you don't, what's going to happen if you don't do um, a trial layer like this? Basically, is all this is. If you don't do one of these, then all that's going to happen is you're going to be erasing and going over and over again anyway. So having a layer that you can just swipe delete and you can, you know, you can make opaque and put under your actual line art, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. They're fuckholes, is what they are. Just people trying, well, we're going to let that go. It's some of the stuff we've been talking about in this episode already. So, yeah, if you haven't seen They Live, you need to see They Live because it's fucking amazing. And it is a cult classic. It's got a pretty big following. Just didn't do well in the box office. And it's got a cult following, rightly so, because it's kind of amazing, and it is very deep. So They Live, it's obvious. Oh, it's not obvious. I mean, it is metaphorical, but it's making a statement that you're being controlled. It might suggest that, you know, it's aliens, but in reality, it's not aliens. It's the way we're set up. The only reason money is important is because people who don't want to bother having any other actual important skills tell you and want you to believe that money is important. That's it. I forget who told me. Damn, I always forget this. Someone said once that, you know, gold is not as not as important as a potato. And I actually worked in the precious metals industry for quite some time, but they they held up gold and a potato, and they said, you know, that gold is not nearly worth as much as a potato. And of course, everybody's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And they went on, you can't eat gold, You can't use gold as a filter if you're having, if there's toxins in the air. You can't ferment gold and make alcohol. You can't plant gold in the ground to grow more gold bushes. It's not even a very good metal. Um, the only reason gold is important is because someone convinced you that it was. Same could be said about diamonds. And so that's kind of what all of our top 5 today has in common. They're all things that make you snap out of what you've been told slash shown is important your whole life. They just don't do it in a hey, you're being stupid kind of way. Still need that number 5. Oh, we didn't do a intermission today, did we? We may go a little longer today too if the pad allows us, which it looks like it might. Okay, tentacle was a good choice. That looks really cool. We need to keep to it. Maybe Death to Smoochie? Death to Smoochie might be about 5. It's really in your face. It's not, I mean, it's kind of upfront about the issues that it portrays. But I guess They Live is as well. Um, I'll think about it. I might put Death to Smoochie as my 5 if I can't think of one better. There's probably a lot of horror films actually that we could put in there because cool thing about horror movies, one reason I like horror movies so much, the right kind of horror movie. The one reason or one of the reasons I like horror so much is because most horror films um, are focused on how shitty people are. You've just got horrible humans in there dealing with these otherworldly monstrosities. And I don't even have, do I have a horror movie on here? I don't. I've got to find a horror movie to put on here. Seed of Chucky is really bad, but it's a good example. Seed of Chucky really pushes that message. The film's just not great. But that's because it was following Bride of Chucky, which is one of the best horror movies ever. Man, could probably just put Godzilla on the list. Of course, Godzilla is pretty open about what it's about as well, so maybe not. Godzilla is about how shitty we are as a species. Us is a pretty good one. There's got to be some horror movies that I'm not thinking about. I guess the thing about the horror movies is they make it obvious. So I want to argue that they should fit into this top 5, but they're pretty obvious about it. Maybe The Ring. That's a horror movie that's kind of eye-opening. But Samara was evil as shit as well, so maybe not. I tell you what, let's do that intermission because we might go a little long today. We'll do an intermission and we'll come back and we'll see if I've got that 5. So, be right back. And we're back. Okay. So, I did think of a couple of good ones while on intermission. The Menu is pretty good. I don't know if it's top 5 good. I almost said Carrie, but Carrie is also pretty upfront. It's not very metaphorical. So it wasn't really eye-opening. Soylent Green might end up having to go in here. There's the Planet of the Apes. Hmm. Us and Get Out are pretty good. Why is it the number 5 spot always so hard? Well, the thing about The Shining is, I mean, the Shining itself is supernatural, so that I know what you're saying, but for one, the movie is drastically different than the book, and the his books are typically inspired by dreams. So The Shining for Stephen King, he wasn't really trying to say anything. Um, I don't think the film was really trying to say anything metaphorical. He's just a horrible, abusive person, yeah, but that's what I was saying about horror films. I want to say that horror films have these underlying metaphors that they don't really. They're pretty upfront about humans being shitty. That's just one reason why I like horror films so much. Because humans are the worst. We're the worst. In case you didn't know, spoiler alert, we're the worst. That's why in my stories, humans are the bad guys, for the most part. I'm not saying there haven't been good humans. I'm not saying there aren't good humans. I'm just saying species as a whole is bad. Bad for the planet, bad for other species. And these are things I'm confident in. I mean, there's proof to this. To this matter. Oh my God, this multi-melta. I don't know what to do to it demon-wise. I really don't. I mean, I can still put some trim on it, but that's not enough. Scales are not going to be enough. Short of putting an actual snout on the thing, which maybe I'll do that. So I've got tentacles, but octopi have beaks. And then what do I do with that if I do it? Now I'm probably thinking way too much about horror. Honestly, I mean, well, no. So Planet of the Apes just really has that one moment. Maybe I should put observe and report in there. No, because it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't really an eye opener. Because watching it, I already knew people like that. It's not. That's not much of an eye opener. You could also argue just about any post-apocalyptic film, right? But then again, that's kind of obvious too, so maybe not. See, it's a good category. I did good this time. Not easy at all. Ah, I can't believe I didn't think about this one. I feel bad now. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Although I was watching something, you could argue, I suppose, well, no, because it's in your face. So Idiocracy is kind of in your face as well. Maybe you could argue it is, but the fact that Idiocracy is so correct, because I remember seeing it in the theaters when it came out, and I'm like, I can see shit like this happening. And here we are, and it's happened. Most of Idiocracy is here, right? Um, and then, I mean, there's films like, what is it? What is it? Don't Look Up. So Don't Look Up's kind of the same. They're scary, how realistic they are, I guess. Oh, the suction cups. I went too small with the suction cups on the. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. But yeah, Idiocracy. At the time that it came out, I mean, like I said, I was thinking, I could actually see this. This isn't so funny because I could see this shit happening. And sure enough, if you haven't seen Idiocracy, you need to see Idiocracy. Plain and simple. It's a Mike Judge film. What was it, like around 2000? Somewhere around there? And Luke Wilson plays this. Is he a janitor, I think, and gets frozen? He gets cryogenically frozen and woken up in the future. And the janitor is the smartest person on the planet because everyone else is just fat idiots. Terry Crews plays the president of the United States, and he is an ex-wrestler, bringing like an assault gun to rallies and shit. Oh my God. Yeah, you gotta see Idiocracy because what a documentary of our times it has become. You think that Orwell is the only one that could tell the future? No. Artists have been doing it forever. Forever. See, if I mess with these too much, it's going to look like gills. So let's make it look like ribs instead of gills, is what we'll do. Make it look like a rib cage. And again, like you said, Carrie, I mean, Idiocracy might be it going into it now, especially if I've told you to watch it because of this, it's going to seem obvious. But at the time, just going into yet Idiocracy, you just wanted to see, like Woody Allen goofy satire shit. Um, but the more we thought about Idiocracy afterwards, the more we realized. I mean, Mike Judge really, because Mike Judge is also the creator of Office Space and Beavis and Butthead, and he's really got it. He's a smart dude. He understands. So Idiocracy just, I mean, it just came to be. That's where we are now. At some point, we'll have to visit this category again, but with like books, literary content. That'd be cool. I like that a lot. I think I'm not going to put much more demonification. Leave it kind of where it is. Maybe put some trim, but that's it. Some trim and some rivets. Not bad, not bad. I can dig it. So busy. So detailed. This is where I'm supposed to say, maybe I'll do some of the line art without you, right? Because this line art's going to take a long time. Again, I just call this a sketch. I know this is technically line art, but this is my sketch phase. I've got four stages. Sketch, so the rough sketch phase, line art, detailing, sometimes. So I've got 3.5 stages. Sometimes I do a detailing phase, which is another line art phase, which is technically inking, and then I've got the colors phase. So if you want to break down the colors phase into lighting and shading at the end, there's that too. Some artists do their color phase and shading together. They just do different colors for the lighting and shading when they're doing colors. It comes out to about the same. I like doing them separate in digital work because I keep everything. I keep. Uh-oh. What happened with the pencil there? So like all these layers here, I would keep. Oh, we don't need that anymore. So if I had 27 layers, I usually keep a lot of those layers. I'll keep the line art and the finished line art, stuff like that. Sometimes I keep my different color layers. So, um, yeah, so that I've got the line art if I want to color again, or if I want to change colors. Um, I might want to put it somewhere, like pieces of it. So that's the beauty of line art is you can keep all that shit to play with it over time. You did it. Be proud of it. Use it as much as you want. Okay. I don't think I need to focus on anything else because some of the stuff I'm familiar with, which is what I was talking about earlier. So the more you do something, the more familiar you are with it, the more confidence you have, the more you don't need an eraser, the more you don't need to lay it out. Like skulls, I've done them enough. Hormagaunts, probably done them enough. The decal on his shoulder, on his pauldron, I'm going to do later. We're not going to do that as line art. So you're going to make a new layer. You're going to turn the opacity on this one down by about 2/3. You're going to select calligraphy. And then we just get to it. And you can start where you want since this is, there is psychology involved in the art business. Um, Knowing yourself and what you need to focus on in spurts sometimes is kind of a thing. So start where you want, start where is best for your brain, which is also to say nature. If we were doing an actual piece, if this was a, a hard medium, then you'd be probably starting top left corner um, if you're right-handed. Actually, I guess a lot of lefties do that too. Know where your light source is going to be before you start your line art. For these tokens, my light source is always the same spot because I want them to be, well, not most of the time. The natural light source is always the same spot. So when I'm doing my tokens, the natural light source is shining down like this. So I keep that standard so that they all look like they have the same natural light source. Some of them provide their own light sources, however, and that affects things. But you can't have more than one light source, so keep that in mind as well. Might just start at the top. Yeah, let's just start at the top. And in case you didn't know, if it seems like the twisting is just like simple, automatic, it's because it is simple. Twisting is just using two fingers. That's why you need gloves like this. You just use two fingers and twist. Any two fingers will do. Ta-da! So when you see me twist, that's why it looks so automatic, because it's pretty simple. Man, that's like the best slash quickest IG helmet I've ever drawn. I never draw them that easily. I always have to go back over them. I am certain that I'm not making my lines dark enough. This is where we pull back. And zooming in is the same thing. Two fingers. Oh, I was not certain. I was wrong. I am making my lines dark enough. We good. Yeah, I think I mentioned Don't Look. Yeah, I did mention Don't Look Up. I actually watched Don't Look Up again last night. These movies that are meant to be comedies, but are just like what we're going through right now. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating. Banana bread syrup, huh? That does sound pretty good. I do tend to make my own coffee syrup. So yeah, I will accept your recipe. Love a good recipe. There's a few things I like more than cooking. In fact, for lunch, I'll be having some of my leftover homemade classic burritos from the other day. What you need to do is you need to hop on Diablo with us. That's what you need to do. You only got one more week in this season anyway. Can help you pound it out. Talking about Diablo 4. I finally finished up the seasonal stuff myself. We should probably also, at some point, we need to get Cody in a game with Bastion and I on Monster Hunter so that he can experience the multiplayer. Since we're doing Chaos Marines, the my lines are going to be jagged. I mean, my hands, of course, I got the crooked, busted hand anyway, but I'm not going to care about straight lines most of the time because I want it to look aged. So don't give me, if you're watching, don't give me shit for my busted lines. Some of it's my busted hand, some of it's on purpose. As I'm doing straight lines. That's because this dude is an IG. He's not Chaos. I care about my lines right now. Oh, you know what? But even so, I should put some like, we should put some battle damage. That's all it took? Dude, seriously? You don't chat for anything else, but I mentioned Monster Hunter? Oh, okay. See how you are. Yeah, so Husk, my niece's boy started playing World recently. So he's on his first Monster Hunter. And World is the best. Ever. World's the one that got me back into it. I'm not sure they'll ever top World. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's not that I didn't like Monster Hunters since World. I do. I liked Rise for what it was. It had problems. I like Wilds for what it is. It has problems. They're just not as good as World. To me. All this is to me. She also, Carrie also started Cyberpunk a little while back. But now she's on, I guess she's playing Diablo now. I don't know. One of them. was horrible. Yeah, it's funny because I was in one of the seasonal missions for Diablo 4. You have to fight the Butcher on Torment 3, and that lair boss fight is so fucking stupid. At least they fixed it. It was glitched for the longest time. They finally fixed it. So it was glitched so that if you had any pets, you couldn't see um, some of his attacks, like the environmental attacks. You couldn't see them if you had pets. But it's since been fixed, and I love pet classes. Love pet classes. So I've got like 13, 14, no, 12. I've got 12 skeletal mages, right? And I go to fight the fucking butcher, and I can't see his damn telegraphs because it's busted. But they finally fixed it. That being said, the Torment 3 butcher fight, just Torment 3. I mean, there's Torment 4. Keep that in mind. Just the Torment 3 butcher fight that you have to do. I'm playing an intelligence based class, which means I have mad bonuses to my resistances. And um, I sacrificed my skeletal warriors for resistances, and then I tripled that bonus. Well, I didn't triple. It's like 1.5. I got all the perks that you could get for, increasing your sacrifice bonuses. That's what I'm saying. And even after all that, I had to take a fire resistance elixir and change all of my enchantments to fire resistance just to beat that stupid thing at the time. It was fucking so stupid. Frustraciones. Not that there's not fights like that in Monster Hunter. It reminds me of Husk. It actually reminds me of our most recent fights with Zoa. How many times did we fight Zoa that we couldn't beat her last time we played? 3? Or just a Zoe. I guess it's just a Zoe, but whatever. Zoshia. I think we fought her 4 times, but I want to say the first time we did beat her. And then I know I died or fainted. I know I fainted twice in one of them because I fainted because she just kept spamming that 360 move. And then I fainted, and as soon as I dropped back down, like she started it before I even hit the ground. So I'm like dropping down, and she does her big move, and I land in it. Oh, good times, good times. So yeah, that's what Cody has to look forward to right there. But that's what I'm saying. We should hook up with him. We need to get you on Diablo Husk so that when the new drop hits next week, you can play with us. I kept thinking it was this week. That's why I was rushing to get all my seasonal stuff done, but it's next week. If you viewers can't tell, I'm wrong all the time. Only spin to win. Okay. Well, I mean, the cool thing about Diablo, and we're talking about Diablo 4 here, the cool thing about Diablo is, you know, you can win by math. That's why I like it. It's like a spreadsheet. You spend all this time working on your spreadsheet so that you don't, have to spend as much time later, right? So you spend all this time on your Diablo character so that you run in somewhere and just hold down one button sometimes. Hell, some classes last season I had a barbarian that didn't have to do anything except walk around. Literally, my barbarian, all he did last season was she. All she did last season was just walk around. Things died. They hit me, they died. They didn't hit me, they died. It was so great. I guess if they hit me, they just died quicker. That's what it was. That's what makes Diablo 4 so fun. I didn't like 3 that much. I think it's cool that they are retroactively adding stuff to 2. But four's pretty good. I got to give Blizzard props for at least that. Maybe only that. And as far as the DLC goes, I think they might have it all on sale right now. There's only until next week. There's only the one DLC. So the Vessel of Hatred's the only one. I mix them up? No, I think that's right. Vessel of Hatred. Yeah. So Vessel of Hatred's the only one you've missed for Diablo 4. Next week is Lord of Hatred. And while you can buy Lord of Hatred right now, you can pre-order it and you can get the Paladin like today. I do think that they're both on sale presently as well. So you ain't far behind. Not as much as you think. Oh yeah, I get that. Believe me, if anybody gets that. Art don't pay dick right now. I still get people hitting me up for free art like all the time. This is where those jagged lines start. The ancient metal. And if you're wondering, Dax, how do you get your lines so jagged, so quick? Well, let me tell you, it's because the Apple Pencil is pressure sensitive. So you just pick it up a little bit as you go. That's it. That's all. The Apple Pencils are exclusive to um, Apple products, of course, and Procreate is as well. But Procreate works with the sensitivity of the Apple Pencils. So it is super cool, super useful, and super handy in whichever order you prefer those. And yes, I also know we're a little bit past 12, but that's because we're just going to keep going until we run out of pad today. Maybe tomorrow too. Doesn't really affect anybody as much as me, so I don't feel bad about that. I'm the one that doesn't get to eat yet. Oop, that was me slipping. That's what that was. That warning is probably signaling the end of the iPad. We'll see. I tell you, that Texas sun decided to come out, stopped its negotiations with itself, and just decided to be sunny today. So it is heating up quick. It was already super humid earlier. I can imagine how humid it is outside now. Another meteor shower? My goodness, we got so many of those lately. Yeah, I suppose y'all can't see. Carrie is saying there's another meteor shower down here tonight. Ah, oh, but then she took it back. Maybe there's not. Oh, fixing her grammar. Okay. Nobody can see it except me. You're good. Well, I guess the current viewers can see it, but in the future they won't be able to. Did it just thunder after I said all that? That's pretty funny. Looking good, and we're kind of plowing through this line art. Oh, it's funny. I didn't even think about putting anything down there. We might do some cool demon energy. That's what we'll do. Coming out of his torso. Um, I don't know why I had so much stuff erased over here. But yeah, I think we'll do some like demon energy coming out. That'd be cool. So we just make his helmet fairly distinct. And then go below that. Then we'll get the little nodes. But then I think the rest, we'll do some cool demon energy. Like I planned that shit. That's why I did it. I mean, I know why I did what I did. It was all part of the plan. I've got his chest armor in two different places. It's kind of weird. Don't know why I did that. It's supposed to be right there. I was way off with that trim. Not jagged enough. Neither one of those lines was jagged enough. There we go. That's that. Y'all can't tell, but we're done. So that's it for today. 2.5 hours. Not bad. Not bad. Got a lot of work done on the line art. Surprising amount of work done on the line art. After all the detail we did on the rough sketch. So that's it for today. That's it for the rough sketch. That's it for the top eye-opening flicks of all time for me personally. Like I always say, feel free to put yours in the comments if you want to let me know your top 5. Feel free to put any questions on Procreate or Calim's Reach, since we're doing Adeptus Carnivalum, in the comments. In the description, you'll find some some helpful links for myself as well as for event.cruises and the Battle Barge. But they do other cruises, like I said earlier. And I haven't thought of a top five for tomorrow yet, but we'll see when we get there, right? I like surprising myself. So hope you learned something. Hope you had a good chill